James Haskell has tipped Wasps teammate Jack Willis to be given an opportunity with England on their summer tour to South Africa. February's Aviva Premiership Player of the Month, Willis has made the number 6 jersey his own in recent weeks, with Haskell featuring from the bench against Sale Sharks and Worcester Warriors. A string of promising performances has led to calls for the 21-year-old to be given a chance by Eddie Jones this summer. Among them is 76 times capped Haskell, who is searching for a new Premiership club to extend his own international ambitions heading into the 2019 World Cup in Japan. Jack Willis of Wasps is tackled by Rob Webber, and AJ McGinty of Sale. Image, photo by Jan Kruger. Getty Images. He's fantastic. He does what he does very well, said Haskell. His ability around the breakdown is well documented. I think he's great over the ball. Knocking on the door, it helps that he's got height and ability so he can put himself into weird and wonderful shapes. I reckon if I put my legs as far apart as his and get hit, it would career over, so he does that very well. He's only 21, so like most people you would see an improvement, but the raw talent that he is showing is up there. Aviva Player of the Month for February 2018 is Wasps, Jack Willis. Image, Pinnacle Photo Agency Limited. You would think he's probably knocking on England's door. There might be opportunities this summer or further down the line. He's certainly hungry to improve and he always delivers. The 9th of June, Ellis Park, Johannesburg, South Africa. The 16th of June, Free State Stadium, Bloemfontein. The 23rd of June, Newlands, Cape Town. High stakes claim for duo if selected. Willis could well come up against a number of familiar faces as the Springboks build towards the 2019 World Cup in Japan. Willie le Roux has 41 caps for his country but has not featured in green and gold since November 2016, while the last of Wanda Zhang's 19 caps came in October 2016 against the All Blacks. Both have been in fine form for Wasps this season and would harbour World Cup ambitions, prompting Director of Rugby Dai Young to meet with South Africa head coach Rassie Erasmus. Could Willie le Roux feature for South Africa this summer? I think le Roux is playing well enough, said Young. He's played well enough to put his hand up. I think he had a bit of unfair stick last season, but you get that when you bring a player over towards the end of the season. They've already played like 3 seasons on the bounce, especially in Japan and so on. So he didn't really have a solid pre-season like this year. He's more comfortable in what he is doing this time and he can't do any more. Wanda Zhang of South Africa and Joe Moody of New Zealand during the Rugby Championship match in Christchurch, New Zealand in 2016. I met with Rassie, had a chat and put my point across. I think he's been excellent, and I think Juan has been excellent in the center. I think he does all the small things really well, and if you look at great Wasp teams in the past, it's not always the big superstars that make the team click. Yes, it's time for England to look to the next generation of back row players. What have they got to lose? No, Jack's had an incredible season, but let's not throw him in there too soon. You know the defense has to be excellent, and you know what he does well is whenever anyone makes a break he gets a lot of double touches in, and so I think he's been great for us as well. I wouldn't be surprised if one of them is selected, but the selection is out of my hands. Could any other Wasps players be making the plane to South Africa? You'd imagine Joe Launchbury would be given the nod for the 3-match series, despite being dropped to the bench for that final Six Nations game against Ireland. England will need players with physicality and test match temperament. James Haskell, Elliot Daly and Joe Launchbury of England and Wasps celebrate their Six Nations victory. The same argument can be put forward for James Haskell. The last time England toured to the Southern Hemisphere in a non-Lions year, Haskell was outstanding against Australia in 2016. Much will depend on what his next career move is and whether that precludes him from future selection. Elliot Daly is a certainty to tour if British and Irish Lions players aren't rested, while Nathan Hughes could well make the tour if he recovers from his latest knee injury in time. What about Wasps' other English players? Dan Robson clears the ball upfield during the Aviva Premiership match between Leicester Tigers and Wasps. Photo by David Rogers. Getty Images. The first name to leap out is that of Dan Robson. What might count against him is a certain Leicester Tigers scrum half returning to action last weekend. When Ben Youngs injured his knee against Italy in the Six Nations, Eddie Jones opted for Richard Wigglesworth of Saracens rather than unleashing Robson to replicate his Wasps form in international colours. Danny Kerr is hardly pulling up any trees in a free-falling Harlequins squad, but it would be surprising to see Jones veer away from his favourite 2 scrum half options. Robson deserves his chance. He's been outstanding for Wasps. But much will hinge on the fitness of Youngs and Kerr, and also whether Jones tours with 2 or 3 nines. Christian Wade is one try away from becoming the third highest try scorer in Premiership history. Will he get the chance to add to that solitary England cap? If you picked an England team on form players from club rugby, Christian Wade would be one of the first names on the team sheet. Since being dropped against Exeter Chiefs a few months ago, the winger has returned with zest and vigour and is a huge threat. Christian Wade of Wasps scores a try during the Aviva Premiership match between Wasps and Worcester Warriors, but we all know far more than club form goes into the international selection process, and it's not as if England aren't well blessed in that department with Anthony Watson, Jack Noel and Johnny May, all potent international threats. It's tough on a player who is so abundantly talented and in such great form, but Wade's chances of making the squad are slim. Any other long shots of a Wasps persuasion? Tom Cruise's form at hooker has been a key feature of Wasps' season, especially with Tommy Taylor and Ashley Johnson struggling for fitness. Cruise possesses international quality line-out throwing and is busy around the park. Judging off the back of Eddie Jones' England squad selections, there is at least 4 other hookers ahead of him, but with summer tours being prone to injury dropouts, Cruise has staked his claim in a Wasps shirt. Wasps' Tommy Taylor during the Aviva Premiership match with Bristol Rugby. Alternatively, Jones may try again with Tommy Taylor after he was injured on England duty last summer, but it would be a big ask given he's yet to start an Aviva Premiership match this season. Jay Cooper-Woolley is enjoying a storming end to the season. Josh Bassett is in prolific try-scoring form, while Danny Cipriani's standards aren't dropping as he nears the conclusion of his second spell at Wasps, but all three have a queue of Jones' preferred options in front of them if they're to make the cut.